Hey, it's Ken from Maritime Sharpening. Today I am going to run through my setup for stone sharpening. Hopefully there are a couple of tips and tricks here that can help someone on their journey. Let's start with the station itself. So I've got a plastic container with a separate bowl and a 2x4 with a couple of grooves just to give stability, and a little secret on the side there that isn't really necessary. So I like to keep clean water in a separate bowl. This allows me to wet the stone I'm working with clean water so that I don't contaminate a finer stone with the grit from the previous stone or the stone prior to that. The other reason for this setup is that all the swarf and grit and everything that comes off the stones will be contained in this plastic container, and when I'm finished I can go and throw it outside. That means that it doesn't all end up in the sink. A lot of people put their bridges over the sink. I can't see that that stuff's good for your plumbing, so I try and avoid it. On the bridge I have screwed a paint stirring stick. This is completely unnecessary. What I use it for is I can use an angle guide to get a specific angle, and then when I'm sharpening I can reference that specific angle. You don't really need to have specific angles like that, but some of us have issues. Okay, so moving on from that, what do I use? I have two Atoma diamond plates. One is a 140 and one is a 400. I use these for flattening my Waterstones, and I'll use them for setting a primary or secondary bevel, or removing material if a repair needs to be done, like small chips. I will use the coarser grit to do the coarser grit stones, and I will use the 400 to do the 5000 grit stone. I am using the Niwa Chaucera Professional stones. They're the nicest stones I've worked with so far. Starting with the 220. This one is for, same as the diamond plates, setting of a bevel, removing damage. It does wear out quite quickly, but it does cut pretty quickly. Next is the 400 grit stone. This will just refine the scratch pattern from the coarser stone. It's also, if you don't have a lot of heavy damage, you can do quite a lot of repair with that one. It does remove material fairly quickly. Then I step up to a 1000 grit. The 1000 grit is where most knives end. It gives a nice toothy, clean edge that is good enough for most things. We'll keep a bit of tooth for things like cutting tomato skins. For fancier knives with harder steels, I will go up to a 5000 grit, and that's been more than adequate for me for now. Gives a nice good polish and a really keen edge. I'm still going with the stones. I have a Nagira. I will use this on the middle two stones. The coarse stone will eat this one up, and the fine stone will be contaminated by the coarser grit. So this will clean up these stones as I'm working with them. It'll keep fresh grit at the surface, and to some extent keep them a little bit flatter, and that helps the stones to cut quicker, more efficiently, saving you time, I guess. And then the final step in all of this is the leather strop. I like to use this at the end, a couple of strokes, just to take the burr off. It should be mostly off whichever stone you decide to finish on, but that'll really just clean it up so it's a good clean bevel. With the setup of the station itself, I like to have this at a good height, being where my arms are parallel to the ground. Through body dynamics, this will be the easiest height to maintain an angle, because as your arms move forward and backward, your wrist can stay exactly the same as it is. If you're working lower down, as you push, you're going to roll the blade over, and if you're working higher up, you're going to roll the knife up. So it's a lot more difficult if you're at a different height. This has helped me to create better, flatter bevels over time. Last thing, well, not the last thing. Another thing I want to just show you is how to hold a knife properly. Finger on the spine, thumb on the heel of the knife. You can use the side of your index finger and where the knife touches your finger to register an angle. So every time you go to the stone, if your finger is just touching the stone and it's in the same place on the spine of the knife, you will have the same angle. Another little thing to be aware of with any of these stones that take water, water freezes and it expands when it freezes. So don't let your stones freeze. Clean them up, keep them flat, let them naturally dry out. I will just stand them up in the container when it's emptied out and dry, and they'll naturally dry over a day or two if I don't use them. And then I will store them somewhere where it doesn't freeze. A garage that doesn't have heating in a cold climate is not the best solution. You will end up with cracked stones. It's also nice to work near a sink, even though you're not putting the swarf into the sink. It's nice to be able to get clean water if you need it, and it's nice to have some form of natural light around where you are. It really does make it easier to see a burr, an imperfection, a little chip, or anything else. And that is about it. I hope this will help someone with a new setup or someone who is struggling with some aspect. All the best.